Hi, everybody. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and it's a very special day for us here on our What You Need to Know program. And I want to introduce the folks and get right to why I am excited about a new partnership that we have begun. First of all, let us welcome back to the show our friend LaVar Walker.
You are my
Uh, I know. I love doing that. I love doing that personally because I love the name LaVar. I love LaVar Burton and I love LaVar Walker. So how you doing, comedian extraordinaire?
I am good. I'm blessed and highly favored and really happy to be here, Sybil. I heard that the old fool, did he take off today or something?
He's working. George Wallace is working today.
What a lie.
I know.
What a lie. Let me tell you about you being stupid. You know what's stupid?
Well, let's
That
talk
was James
about
working.
something. Let's talk about George in a minute. I want to talk about, and if you saw our newsletter today, then you know whereof I speak. And I'm very, very happy to talk about a partnership with Natalie Wilson and her sister and the Black and Missing Foundation. This is an organization that we came to know on the Joyner Show, thanks to Jackie Reed, and we were talking about Black people who go missing and how the attention is not focused on them, and we don't get that, and of course we've seen that most recently. But also, I want to talk to a woman who is now searching for a family member. So, Natalie, first of all, welcome, and can you just give us a little bit of background on Black and Missing? How long you've been doing it? I believe it's 13 years now.
Yes. Well, first, Sybil, thank you so much for having me, Yolanda, as well. We are excited about this partnership. We have been sounding the alarm for close to 14 years that people of color are disappearing at an alarming rate, but yet our communities really aren't aware of this issue. People are disappearing from places like Chicago, Richmond, and you'll hear from Tony, Atlanta, Detroit at an alarming rate. And you would think with the pandemic, our caseload will be slowing down, but it's actually increased. So we are doing all that we can to help find and bring awareness to our missing.
Mm-hmm. And this is what brought us two together years ago on the Joyner Show, and that was the fact that a lot of white boys and girls, men and women who go missing, they get all of the national media attention. And you and your sister have brought this to the forefront. And today in our newsletter, we talk about this. So can you tell us about what we're talking about in the newsletter?
So we're talking about, again, our partnership and how your audience can help us find those missing from our communities. And,
Yes.
they're disappearing at an alarming rate. Close to 40% of all persons missing are of color. Yet you all know, your listeners, you all know about Gabby Petito. They know about
Hmm.
Chandra Levy, Natalie Holloway. But do you know Kishay Jacobs? Do you know
Right.
Ariana Fitz? Do you know Kiera Coles? Do you know Jonathan Bandabilia? There's so many people of color, particularly African Americans, who have disappeared, and they're not getting the media coverage or assistance from law enforcement that's needed. And our strategy is to get the media to care. And then there's a trickle down effect. One, it alerts the community that someone is missing and it can greater the chance of a recovery. But it also puts pressure on law enforcement to add resources to the case
Right.
so that these missing individuals can be found or at least provide closure for the families.
I want to, for folks who have not had an opportunity to see our premiere issue today, in which we announce our partnership and also devote that segment of the newsletter to Kishay Unique Jacobs. I want to, as we are talking, we have the poster there of Kishay. But Tony Jacobs, tell us about Kishay.
Um, Kishay was a typical 21-year-old. Not typical. I ain't even gonna say she was typical because she wasn't. She had just turned 21. Wasn't 21 a good maybe 30 days yet. Um, she was a homebody, very, very loving, spoiling. She
Mm.
just loved to hug, very, very compassionate. And Kishay was that type. She didn't go out and club or do anything like that. She just wanted to hang around the house, hang around with her friends, and basically hang with family. So we was very family oriented. So
And so one day she was going to play basketball.
no, ma'am.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Kishay,
I know she had
no.
like basketball, like
Basketball shorts on, yeah.
right, right, and tennis
That was
shoes. Yeah,
her. She
that's what I
wasn't the one
assumed.
to wear all that fancy clothing and stuff. Was happy in a pair of basketball shorts and a t-shirt and tennis shoes. But
Understood.
this pa- this particular day, like any other teen or any one of our children would have done, or I would have done, said I was going over some friend's house. I was like, all right. I was like, just be safe, make sure your phone's charged, and just let me know you made it where you're going safely.
Mhm.
By her being 21, I gave her a little bit more leeway. Where you going? I'm not going to do that. But she texted me and let me know she made it safe and that she would see me the next day.
Mm.
Um, so it wasn't like her not to come home the next day. Even if she wasn't coming home or she was going to stay out later, she would always call me
Sure.
and let me know. Or, Ma, is it okay if I stay? And I'd be like, girl, I don't care where you at. Stop worrying me.
Mhm.
But when I didn't get that phone call, I'm like, hold on, what's
Mhm.
going on? And so I started reaching out to her friends and everything, and everybody act like nobody knew anything. Ain't nobody seen her. Ain't nobody did nothing until like 2 days later they called me or came to the house and was like, we dropped you off at this house. Yeah. And the person, I was like, what do you mean you dropped at the house? Why didn't you tell me this before?
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I told them to take me to the house because they told me they went to the house and the person said they didn't see Keisha. But when I got to the house, the person's time that he said he saw her wasn't adding up. He said he had saw her at Monday at 5 and then 6 o'clock and then 6:30. And I was like, no, Keisha was at home. So I called the police to let them know, hey, this man is not telling me the truth.
Mhm. So let
So
me just for folks who are just coming in, we're talking about the Black and Missing segment of the What You Need to Know newsletter, and missing since September 26, 2016. Kishay is 26 years old at the time, and this was in Richmond, Virginia, and went to hang out with some friends and never returned home. So here we are 5 years later, and people may still have answers. There may be a sighting, right, Natalie? Right, Tony?
yes, yes. And I urge
Absolutely. And that's
anybody.
what we hold on to hope that
Mm-hmm.
Tony will have her daughter home. Um, it's very heartbreaking, and we continue to fight with Tony for answers. It's really frustrating, and Tony can speak about this better than I can, not getting answers or follow up from law enforcement. She doesn't know where they are with the case. Thankfully, there's a new detective on the case, and
Oh,
hopefully she
good.
can get, more answers. But keeping Kishay in the forefront because we believe that someone knows something that can break this case.
Lavar, you are, have been, you're a man of the world, but you understand this, perhaps, because of just life experiences and having, friends or heard stories about this. This is the reality for a lot of us in our worlds, and our children go missing, our family members go missing. What can we do? What can Lavar and I do, Natalie, in terms of or Tony, if there's a chance that we have a sighting of Kishay?
I would appreciate it. I don't care if it's just like a thought. Oh, I think I saw it. Report it to the police. Report it. You don't have to say your name or anything. Just get it out there anonymously. And I tell people, I was like, at the end of the day, if it was your loved one, your no, your daughter, your niece, your nephew, you would want somebody to help you. I'm not asking you to run her down
Mhm.
and grab her and bring her back to me, but you can if you want to. But I just want people to take it serious because a lot of
Mhm.
people don't. They have this idea that it can't happen to them, or I'm not going to get involved,
Yeah.
and that's not the right attitude to have because if it happens to your family member, you want somebody to say something. You want that help.
So on the poster, it says that Kishay was last seen leaving her apartment building on foot in the Midlothian area of Richmond, Virginia, off of Eric Road. If
Yes.
people have information, do we go to Black and Missing Foundation, Natalie? What do we do?
Y- Yes, so as Tony said, they can call law enforcement, their local police department, or you can come to our website at bamfi.org and report any information that you have anonymously. We know that there's a sense of distrust between the minority community and law enforcement, so someone may not feel comfortable sharing that information. But as Tony mentioned, it could be your daughter that's missing, and you would want someone to come forward. So just go to our website and submit a tip anonymously. And while you're there, also look at the profiles that are
Mm-hmm.
missing in your community and around the country, because you can help bring someone home.
We want
So
to do this.
Miss, oh,
Yes, please, Lavar.
I was like, so Miss Wilson, you say 40% of missing person cases are African American?
So close to 40% of all people reported missing are people of color, and about 33% of them are African Americans. But you have to be mindful, this is a group of people that are reported missing. We believe that the numbers are much higher because there's an immigrant community, there's a Hispanic community, and there's a fear of deportation. So they're not even reporting their loved ones missing. So we believe the numbers are much higher.
And out of the percentage, the 33%, what percent of that is African American females?
A large portion of it are African American females. When we first started the organization, they were mostly men that were missing, African American men. Um, but again, the numbers are extremely high when it comes to
And
missing
and
women of
and
color.
and how many people are coming up missing annually?
So
How
there
many
are
people?
about
Yeah.
500,000 people reported missing through the FBI database each year.
Five hundred
Wow.
thousand.
Mhm.
Well, we are going to do everything we can
Wow.
to help and to engage our viewers and our listeners in this search. My heart just goes out to you, Ms. Jacobson, and I pray that we will have some closure and that we'll bring you all together again. That really is.
Yeah.
And Dora Levette Tiggs on Facebook is absolutely right. If you see something, say something.
Say something.
If something doesn't
Absolutely.
look right to you, and we know that we have our senses, that innate sense that tells you that just doesn't look right. This is definitely an opportunity for us to be a part of bringing families together and to help where help is desperately needed. So
Mhm.
I thank you all, Natalie.
Mm.
I'm so glad that we are together finally, and that we're going to make this happen. And every week, we will have an installment of this in our newsletter. And so I thank you, Tony Jacobs. God bless you, and
Thank
we
you.
are keeping good thoughts and prayers for you.
Thank
And
you. Thank you so much.
and
Yeah.
uh, and
Thank
and,
you.
and I will tell Tom that I spoke with you today. I appreciate your being a fan of the old radio show. And Natalie, you keep up the great work. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you.
again.
Thank
Once again, we're talking to the about the Black and Missing Foundation and this young lady, Unique, and has been missing for 5 years. Lavar.
you. Man, that's tragic. I don't even have words.
Yeah.
For a parent to just a child to go missing, just missing. It's just that is just so weird, so bizarre. I don't. Oh
And
man, I
yet
don't know.
it's happening. It happens more often than we know, and so we want to be a part of the solution.
Yeah,
And
that's a 500,000 people per year come up missing.
yes, yeah. So look at it this way: we're already through 10 months of this year, and we have now pretty close to that 400,000, 450,000
Mm,
people
mm,
maybe
mm.
missing by now. Yeah, absolutely. Lavar,
Wow,
let's talk about
that was
some
heavy.
yeah, yeah. Um, have you ever been a part of that? Having somebody in your neighborhood or your family go missing like that?
No,
No. Um,
But I do know of some you know, look, I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but there are those times when you might have a person in the family on drugs or something like that
mhm.
who is disheveled, and you know the family is unable to maybe go identify the body and locate the body, and then I guess the city ends up burying the person
Yeah.
unidentified. So you know that's probably happening a lot as well, but I haven't had it happen to me. I only have one child, so I pretty much keep a close eye on him.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then I was even thinking about, he's 6 years old. I was thinking about getting that. I don't want to make this funny, but those iPhone air trackers.
Yeah.
Maybe putting that in his book bag or maybe in the bottom of his shoe, so I always know where he's at.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
that's the real though, Lavar. That's not that that's we have Yolanda, if you could put that message back up, because we have the technology now, and you don't want to say, I got to keep an eye on you, and so I'm gonna, but that's what may be necessary to save the lives
Yeah.
of our family. We have someone here in Facebook saying that my grandmother went missing back in the 90s in Chicago, and she was never found. Chicago's
And,
one of
and
those cities.
yeah, and what are like the top places where people go missing? That would be an interesting. That would be
The
something
breakdown on
interesting to
that.
look at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
the
and we'll get
top.
that
What are the
information.
top five cities, and are these cities close to ports, oceans,
There's a
things of that
lot of that.
nature?
Yeah.
Because um, there are programs like overseas where, I mean, they are selling organs, and
Mhm.
they're
And sex
doing a lot of,
trafficking.
yeah, sex trafficking, organ selling. So it's man, that's a rough one. That's a rough one.
It is. It is. And I grew up in Chicago, and as a kid, there was the John Wayne Gacy case. And this was a man
Mm,
who, he moonlighted as a clown, and what he actually did was use his position in the neighborhood and amongst kids, to kidnap these boys. He sexually assaulted them, killed them, and then put their bodies in his basement. And there were
mm.
lots of kids who went missing, and primarily white boys, who went missing, and it became a real big case when it was finally discovered in his crawl space, where these bodies were in. But just this week, they made an identification of someone who's been missing for 40 years.
Oh wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Wait, wait. Did they wait? You said they found the person that's been missing for 40
They
years?
no, they connected him with his family. So a DNA test that the family had, that they were able to connect his DNA to this family, and they were able to identify him, and so they were able to get some closure because he was one of the victims of John Wayne Gacy.
Mm,
This is
unreal.
this is unreal. It really is. Karen Elaine on YouTube says, Lavar, there are apps that parents can install where you can track in real time.
Yeah, I need that. Yeah, I'm putting a track on this boy, at least until he 18 or something. I mean, he'll probably get banned. Why you been tracking me, watching me the whole time? So I'm definitely, after this, I'm gonna look into that. I'm gonna tell his mama this is what we need to do, because this is not good.
It's frightening. I used to have, and I told people this before. I used to have a regular nightmare about being kidnapped, and this was at a time where there was a whole
Mm.
number of kidnappings in the news. And my dad said, "Nobody's gonna take you, little girl. Nobody's gonna. Nobody. Yeah, if they know what I know, no, no."
Yeah, yeah.
Lavar, let's talk about what's going on in in the world right now. We have a president who is still not getting it in regards to his Build Back Better plan and trying to work it out amongst all the Democrats, and especially those who are being the most obstinate forces in the world, namely Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Kirsten Sinema. He thinks, well, he left for Rome today and he thought he had a deal, but you got some more progressive Democrats in the House who are saying you don't have a deal yet. We're not going with it because of some of the things that we wanted in this bill that you decided to take out, namely help for healthcare workers. Cori Bush is a congresswoman from St. Louis, and she said, you took out a lot of the stuff, and I promised my constituents that I was going to fight for them. And what you have done is not fighting for the people. The other thing they took out is free community college for the students in America. And so,
I just with Joe, I just don't know. I mean, I think there's definitely some cognitive decline with his cognitive abilities and functions, and I don't know, man. I really don't know. I mean, the guy says things sometimes that just don't make sense, man.
right,
You know,
right.
and I mean, he's just fumbling along and mum. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
And if you want to stop that flooding and these hurricanes, you all need to get vaccinated. You gotta stop. Listen to me. Get vaccinated. You want to stop these hurricanes? Vaccinate. I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about, Joe? Where are we right now, man? Where are we? So I don't know, man. I saw that thing they were trying to pass with the IRS to watch our accounts.
Yeah, the $10,000 mark in your accounts and giving them the authority and nobody wants that. I mean,
No, man.
we want the corporate types to pay their fair share of taxes, but is that the way to do it?
I don't think it is simple. I mean, because what's going to happen is, uh, well, definitely when you do stuff like that with the IRS monitoring those accounts,
Mhm.
that's definitely going to cause cryptocurrency to
Yeah. That's all that's going
come
to
in
do.
and take over.
Yep, that's
You
all that's
know,
going to do.
the country is primarily built off principles of capitalism. Now, I'm not a pure capitalist because I
Mhm.
know that capitalism left unchecked can cause a lot of chaos, havoc, and damage. But in our nation, which is a capitalist society, it has provided, a lot of prosperity. It gives us the ability to have a upper class, middle class, and lower class. With some countries, there's no middle class, and even though the middle class is starting to erode in this country, you still want prosperity to be able to flow. And we shouldn't be a country that penalizes people for being rich, so to say. Because, like for instance, Elon Musk made $36 billion yesterday, right?
Yesterday.
But Elon bought over $1 trillion in valuation to a company.
Mhm.
So that's like saying, hey man, we're keeping it relative. So he made 36 billion. He bought $1 trillion in value. So so you make me $1,000 and I give you $36. Do we
Yeah.
really want to? Because it's creating a lot of wealth. I'm a Tesla investor. A lot of jobs in Texas. That wealth grows. It
Yeah.
it trickles through. So do
Yeah.
you really want to put these goalposts up and block prosperity and block success and penalize people for being successful? I don't think that's the right way to go about this? Because the rich will only move the goalposts. They're going to find loopholes around it.
They will.
So,
That, I mean, that's why people make the big bucks as tax attorneys and all those other folks to do
yeah.
that. But some of the things that I do question are the removal of, because I like the idea of, creating a really strong educational system. And I think encouraging young people to go to community college by giving them free tuition, I think that's a good thing. And to take that out, and I will say this over and over again, I don't understand, Lavar, how the senator who represents the sixth poorest state in the country, that would be West Virginia's Joe Manchin, how he is the senator of no and doesn't want to bring good things to his state and to the country.
So he voted no as far as the community colleges
That
are
was one of the things
concerned.
that they pulled out in order to bring the price down so that he would agree to it.
Well, let me ask you this, Sybil. When you think of community colleges and you think of the current economy that we're in, a lot of kids are able to go on YouTube, learn skills, they can learn
Yeah,
trade.
that's true.
How much value, and I want to play a little bit of devil's advocate here, but how much value are the current community colleges providing? You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying, and I
So are
think
you
that,
able to come out of a community college and are you prospering after the 2 years of community college?
but it,
I don't
but how about the fact that it's exposing you to something that you may not have known about, and that it enables you to get different opinions and ways of looking at things that enhances your life overall, not necessarily for your career, although that is important, because not everybody is meant to go to college. I agree with that. But I do think that even if you do 2 years in college, that it does expose you to different ways of thinking and to different areas of the world that you might explore.
Right. You saying it broadens the horizons of
Definitely.
a person.
Most
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. Um, as a pharmacist that went to school for a long time, and as a guy with a lot of my friends are physicians, attorneys, and things, engineers. A lot of them have gone to school, and a lot of them are saddled in enormous amounts of student debt, and a lot of them aren't necessarily happy in these chosen
Mm-hmm.
professions. Um, the community college argument, I, I just don't know if community colleges are even, I mean, in this day and age, are they
Mm-hmm.
really even necessary? I
Right.
don't even know anybody out here going to, the only people I know that go to JUCOs are guys that's playing ball and they trying to go D1. Man,
Right.
I'm gonna go play at JUCO for a couple years, then but most people are going straight into 4-year institutions and then going to
If
higher
they can
level
afford it.
grad schools. Yeah, yeah.
If they can afford it. And so I just think that it does provide something that could open up, as you say, broaden their horizons, open up their world to different ways. World of people that they may be exposed to. Growing
And,
up in
and, and,
Chicago,
then,
you would get.
and then too, this is my thing, right? With schools, I think to an extent, it's like, so what happened is with the government intervening and giving all these student loans, right?
Mm-hmm.
They federally back student loans. It incentivizes a lot of these schools to jack up the tuition
Yeah.
to however much they want, and it's backed. That's what
Yeah.
has caused these institutions to be outrageous over the years
Yeah.
in charging these students. So if the government is going to continuously give the student loans, well, maybe they should say, well, hey, if a student is getting a degree in art, okay, yeah, he shouldn't be able to go in $100,000 worth of debt. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, he
Somebody's
shouldn't
got to
go
say,
over
come on now.
$2,000. Like, we have to weigh, what
Right.
these kids are majoring in and what's the potential income they're going to make.
Yeah.
You know, you people that going to school to make baskets. This guy got a master's degree. He got $200,000 in debt. You're like, I can't get a job. I went to school. I make great baskets. Well, nobody wants your basket. But they just print the money, and the schools are criminal. Like, in a way, the schools are kind of criminal in just taking this
And they
money
believe that. Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
get the money immediately. Once you show up as a student, they get the money. So I'm gonna tell you guys something now.
So this,
I'm a
what I wanted to do, well, and I don't know if we'll have time for it, but I love your call me segments on Instagram.
Oh,
so,
oh,
this is what I feel like we're leading up to. So call you and you want to tell them what, Lavar?
man. Well, this is really deep. I'm not even trying to be silly, but like, just call me before you major in something stupid and go in all that debt. Okay, like, just call me to talk to me first, you know? Because even right now, I'm gonna be honest, I put this out. I thank God, my career is kind of taking me out of pharmacy or whatever. But like when I got out of pharmacy school in 2002, it was a great demand for pharmacists. You had retail stores, CVS, Walgreens building at a tremendous rate. There
Mhm.
was a demand. There was a federal demand for pharmacy. It was like no pharmacists, so it was like a national shortage or whatever. Well, now from '02 to now, they've oversupplied the market with pharmacists. There are too many pharmacy
Mhm.
schools, and so what's happening now? The pharmacy schools are still charging all this money. There are too many schools. So with them being so many schools, they're lowering the standards to draw more kids in. So kids are
Mm.
coming out with enormous student loan debt, unable to find the jobs, and they're just like in handcuffs. So it's like,
Wow.
what are we doing? And to the kids that are listening to this, you have so much information at your fingertips. Do your research before you
Right.
go into any major. Talk to the people that
Yeah.
are working in these fields.
Yeah.
Listen to them. Do not listen to that professor and that dean. They are lying to you. They're lying to you. I tell people all the time, oh, do not go to pharmacy school. I get called a hater. Don't do it. I'm telling you, I don't want your money. You're not giving me no tuition or nothing.
Mhm.
Trust me. No jobs, lack of
Talk to 'em.
opportunity.
Talk to the
Yeah.
folks.
So
One
that's
other
what it
piece
is.
of advice I want you to give, I want you to think about this. This has come down. The former governor of New York has been charged with a sex crime months after resigning amid the harassment probe. He's been charged with a misdemeanor sex crime, and it comes 2 months after he resigned in disgrace following accusations of sexual harassment against the Democrat by multiple women. And details of the allegations in the pending criminal complaint include the identity of the woman at the center of it, and says that he has sexually harassed at least 11 current and former staffers. And the New York authorities have now filed these charges against him. Two women have accused him of misconduct, and they're saying that this sexual misconduct, he could end up doing a year in prison. What do you think?
Wow. I don't know what to say. Like, that is sad. I mean, the accusation. I mean, are these just accusations, or this is allegedly? Can they prove
He is
beyond a
charged with it.
reasonable doubt? They
Right.
charged him.
So they're obviously, it's there's going to be one of two things. You're going to settle or you're going to take it to court. And then in court, you have to prove it. And so we'll see if they think that they have enough to charge him. Then I'm thinking they think they have enough to take it to court. That's my thought.
Wow.
I don't know.
And so, as far as like, was he groping women or just
He,
saying
he
nasty
touched he
things?
touched them inappropriately and knowingly. It wasn't like,
Oh,
"Ooh,
wow.
excuse me." It was a woman who worked in his office, who, if I'm not mistaken, was one of the police officers on his detail.
Oh, wow. I don't. Oh, gosh. Well, you got to do the crime. You got to serve the time. I don't get me. Hey, 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 yo, you got to serve the time, Cuomo.
Yeah,
You got to do what you got to do. Man, that
he was
look.
talking. There was a lot of discussion about him, and perhaps getting back into politics. This is not going to happen, obviously. And a part of this, the interesting thing is that now the black woman who is the Attorney General of the state of New York, who did follow up on those allegations about his sexual harassment, her name is Letitia James, and now she's talking about running for governor. That announcement is going to be made.
Now, did he assault her too?
No, no, but
Oh,
she is doing a serious investigation into him.
wow, man. Look,
Yeah.
whew,
Yeah.
that's rough.
It's
That's
tough.
rough. That's
It's
why
tough out there.
I don't even really, I mean, I'm married anyway, but I don't even look women in the eye no more. So I don't, I just,
You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not alone.
I'm good. I don't want any type of accusations or fault. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
move to
Cuomo.
the what
What
you
you
need
got
to
to
know
do, man?
newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter. It's absolutely free. We ask you to go to sybilwilkes.com to subscribe. And this newsletter, we talk a little bit about politics, we talk social justice, always a coronavirus update. And the first story in the newsletter today is talking about the U.S. Postal Service and how perhaps the moves by Donald Trump's Postmaster General, Louis DeJoy, who he put into position to delay, to destroy, and to deny democracy. He has changed the things. DeJoy has changed things within the Postal Service to slow down postal deliveries. And now it's being affected by a number of states. And those that are really feeling the effects of this, Lavar, are those that are in the midst of important elections, namely the state of Virginia. Virginia Democrats have sued the Postal Service because they say that people are being denied their democracy, their rights to vote, because a lot of thousands of the ballots that people have mailed in for the November 2nd election are still sitting in the post offices, and they have not been put through the system. And so if they're not, like postmarked by a certain date, then those people's votes will not be counted.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's a very close election in the state of Virginia between the Democrat Terry McAuliffe and the Trump-like Republican Youngkin.
Oh, wow. That's sad. You don't think we can get FedEx to come in there and get the votes to the people? Get FedEx or Amazon, get one of them Amazon trucks to back up. And you get that
So
Amazon Prime on that, and you can get them votes there on time.
do you think the Amazon guys are really going to be working after we saw that delivery that was made by the brother and the white girl coming out of the truck?
Man, that brother, she might have requested that package, Sybil. She might have hit the button and said, "Hey, I need, I need some Amazon Prime." You see what I'm saying? And he got over, he delivered, he did his job. That's what I saw. He did his job. She walked out of there happy. So,
She skipped out of it. She
oh yes,
hopped
she
down.
did. Yes, she did. She got down. Man, I get scared now if I see if my wife home and I see the truck in front of my house. I go, what the hell going on? What the hell happening in here?
So, for those who don't know, if you haven't seen it, there is a short clip of an Amazon van, and the door opens, and you can see the arm of the brown arm of a man, and as he is letting a little white girl out of the truck, wearing what looks like last night's club clothes. Uh, and she just kind of saunters out of the truck, and LeVar, I didn't see anything showing them, when she got into the truck, where the truck came from, and stopping. So there was not all of this advance. But what I saw was she did the walk of shame right down the middle of the road. Denise Cuffey says on Facebook, she did the walk of shame, but there was no shame in her walk, was
It's
there?
either that. No, it didn't look like any shame to me. She had no problem. She did do a skip and a jump, probably a backflip before she got to the house. Sybil. She seemed rather happy and excited after that. Wow.
So
Wow.
That is that's what we're talking about. I'm wondering if
I
people have
guess
seen that video.
Amazon membership has its privileges. That's what I got from that.
And where were her shoes? Denise asked. I thought the same thing. So I didn't. I know she had a purse or like a little bag or something, but I didn't know if she's like, oh, the hell with the shoes. I'm just gonna skip on.
Or maybe since we didn't see her get out, maybe she's an Amazon worker and
Uh
changed her
huh.
clothes and got out of there.
Uh huh. Okay, call you.
How about that? How about that? Let's play devil's advocate. Maybe she was just getting off work. She
Hmm.
parked the truck and boom, flew out the back and went in the house. Who
And
knows?
just went, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
got a lift from the job. Okay.
yeah. It's a
and,
lift.
and I and I do mean that. So what do you think about the possibility of Senator Herschel Walker from the great state of Georgia, Lavar?
The possibility of him winning.
Of him running for the nomination, which he has thrown his hat into the Republican nomination for the primary. And do you think he has a chance? Because he just got the endorsement.
Georgia, listen, outside of Fulton County, like the city of Atlanta,
Hmm.
like the city of Atlanta consists of Fulton and DeKalb County. It is 300 more counties here. This is a true red Republican state. So he has a strong possibility of winning.
Well,
Okay.
against the current governor, he would be in the race against the current governor, who is a Republican. That's the guy uh, that cheated and beat Stacey Abrams, Kemp.
Wow.
So he was
Do
encouraged to
you
get.
so you want to know if I think he has a chance of winning?
Yeah, well, first of all, to be in the primary, which they'll have before the general election. Do you think he can beat the current Republican governor in order to get the Republican nomination? And then he would be in the contest, presumably against Reverend and Senator Raphael Warnock, who just won.
Oh yes, I do think he can. Yeah, yeah, because there's a lot of Herschel Walker. Yeah, he got my vote. I seen him run that ball. I remember he ran that ball. He keep on running. I mean, oh, you better believe I'm voting for Herschel Walker. They're gonna show out there in football jerseys and helmets voting for Herschel Walker. They're gonna be at the polls with the whole outfit on.
They're gonna be wearing the jersey, the Georgia
You better
Bulldogs and all
believe it.
that
You
stuff,
better
huh?
believe it. Yeah, Herschel Walker. Yeah. Hmm.
So, what do you think about in our coronavirus update? We talk about the state of New York, the New York City, rather. The Board of Health has declared racism is a public health crisis.
Mm,
They say
really?
this is a result of the pandemic, prompting officials to issue the guidelines to achieve a more racially just recovery from the crisis. They said that they must confront racism as a public health crisis, and it leads to suffering disproportionately borne by communities of color in the city of New York. I think that's a pretty powerful statement to make. I think that it's something that has been ongoing, and not just in the city of New York, around our country, but it's been heightened
Hmm.
and given a greater picture for folks as a result of the pandemic. What do you think?
So in the city of New York, um, I, listen, I don't know how to say this. I'm trying to see like what is actually happening to Black people in the city of New York. I mean, is there outright? Because I just got back from New York,
Hmm.
okay, and I didn't feel particularly oppressed. I'm not saying it doesn't exist or it's not there, but what specifically is pushing this? Is it the subliminal risk? What is
No,
causing?
it's the way people have been treated, people of color especially, have been treated in the pandemic crisis, whether it's for COVID, whether it's for being treated by health professionals for COVID, whether they've been hospitalized, in terms of people getting the money or the promises of being helped as they have lost their jobs, all of these things that are pandemic related, employment, health, social justice, and things like that.
So they have been, so it's
And they
fact they've been purposely denying black people help
people of
for
color
things.
have not been given the equal treatment in terms of getting health coverage, of getting proper, let's just say, medicines, or even being tested for the disease, the what it used to be, the protective equipments and things like that, that as a rule black people, brown people are not being able to get all of these things and programs that help people who had lost their jobs and other things like that.
Well, I'm a little ignorant on it because I live in Georgia, and I know thousands of brothers that got PPP loans. I'm not saying no names.
Mhm.
They were balling during the COVID
Right.
crisis.
Right.
And then as far as COVID is concerned, a lot of brothers, a lot of brothers didn't want to get the shot. It's a big conspiracy thing going on. I don't know. I was just in New York. I didn't feel
Well, no,
any
because
discrimination,
right, right.
but
And
I'm not
but
saying it doesn't exist either.
exactly. Exactly. And there might be even people in Georgia who can say that they did not get all that they needed to get in order to conquer the virus, in order to get better, in order to get treatment. In all of I dare say in the state of Texas, where
So Sybil, did you feel that did you get everything you needed during the COVID crisis?
I was not affected. I didn't get COVID, and I was in quarantine. And so, but people who are on assistance, they feel as though they were, looked over.
And the people of color, are we including our Asian brothers and sisters, Indian brothers and sisters? It's just strictly African American.
Well, I think they're talking in the state, in the city of New York, certainly, which is, that includes so many different people in
Yeah.
that city, that I don't think you can simply say that it is black people who felt this. I think you can honestly say that there were, at least, if not just black people, Hispanic people. I can't speak
Right.
in terms of Asians, but Asians were treated in a certain way, not from a health perspective, I don't know, but certainly, a lot of Haitian hate that
Right.
went on
Right.
as the way they were treated by
Well,
people
well,
because
well.
of the
I think
Chinese
what
virus.
I think it's definitely a bold statement that New York is making, and that's good. We want to fight and combat racism as much as we can. Uh, so it's a good thing. Hey,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
We also like to talk a little entertainment, and I do want to give you an opportunity because I really appreciate your coming in, and I do, and filling in for Mr. Wallace, and I do want to talk about
Hey,
how life is
yes.
back, how life is back on the road for you. How are
Oh man,
you
this has been
finding
my
it?
best year ever. So I do a lot of content. So me being, on Facebook, Instagram, being monetized and everything has really helped me tremendously. I've been doing some Zoom shows, and work is picking up now where I'm doing some corporate gigs from some
Okay,
pharmaceutical companies and things of
of
that
course.
nature. And then I'm on a new show coming out in March with Amy
So
Schumer
tell
that'll
us,
be on Hulu. Yeah, I'm
what
on a
is
new
it?
show. It's called Life and Beth. I'm playing. It's a very. I had to study long for this role. I'm playing a guy named Lavar that's a pharmacist on the show. So I don't know. Hopefully, I did a great job. I don't know, but so I'm playing me on the show, and
Yeah.
it's a pretty good show, man.
Who
Comes
who
out,
else
and
is in it?
you got Amy Schumer,
Oh
Dave
my gosh.
Attell, Gary Goldman. What's the guy's name? Michael. What was the guy get real close in the camera and talk? Michael.
Which one?
What's his name? Rappaport. Michael
Oh,
Rappaport.
Rappaport. Too bad you couldn't
Yeah,
get any
yeah,
big names in there. You got LeVar Walker, you got Amy
yeah,
Schumer, Rappaport.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
a pretty high level cast.
Yeah, David Ted. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a dope show. I got to write on it, and then I'm acting on it, so I can't
Oh, so you're
complain.
getting,
Sim. I'm doing all
so
right.
as Tom would say, you're getting a couple of checks.
Yeah, I'm doing all right, but I'm doing all right. The Lord is working. And I say God is good. God is good.
So,
I'm doing
LaVar,
all
I
right.
got to ask you, the last time you were on, you looked really disturbed. You
Yeah.
looked like you were
So
having
so
one of
so
the worst days ever, and you were in New
so
York.
I was in New York. I was staying with my brother. Okay.
Okay.
And my brother is single, Sybil. So, you know, I'm in this house, at this apartment. He didn't really have a desk. So I was on this couch, and the couch
Uh-huh.
wasn't comfortable. And then I'm trying to hold my phone. There was no stand for me to put the phone. I didn't have my laptop. And then there was nothing to eat. There was no food. It was dust. It was just too much. And I'm going crazy. I'm getting high of contact smoke. It was too much going on this particular day. And then I had to go run and do a show at the Comedy
Right.
Cellar. I'm like, my God. And I learned to be thankful for my wife in that situation, because I'm gonna tell
Oh.
y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. If you're listening to me, a lot of us need wives, okay?
Women need
Because
wives
I'm
too.
listen. As a domesticated man, I
Hmm.
have a certain criteria, such as towels in the bathroom, juice in the refrigerator. Sybil, listen, let me tell you something. I went in to get something to drink, and the water was expired. I've never seen expired water in my life.
I've never seen that before.
Expired water.
That is hilarious.
Oh, it was a rough day. I was like, man, this is horrible. I called Yolanda. I said, yo, I apologize. I did not know the conditions. I thought I would be able to pull this off, but I couldn't. See, I'm in my office. I can sit
Yeah.
in my chair. I got my lighting. None of that. I should have turned it down when George called me. Hey, I want you to call in and help you do. I want you to call up there. You're gonna call in to the radio and I want you to do the show, stupid. And I started to say no, because I'm like, man, I don't know, but then I did it, and then it just went haywire. Matter of fact, it got so bad I started doing shadows. If y'all can look
Yes.
at, I
Yes.
started, I was so
I
fed
was
up.
like,
I was doing bunny ears.
LaVar,
Like
I knew that something was not right, but had no idea that it was
it
that
was
so wrong.
horrible. Okay. I Donald Trump say it was the worst. It was horrible. It was the worst. It was one of the worst times I've ever had in my life. I went to this place. It was terrible, terrible. Like it was,
Well, I'm glad you're home and that you have a greater appreciation for your wife and that
man.
things are good. And so are you you said you're doing a lot of corporate gigs now. You're doing any of the
Yeah,
comedy
I got
clubs?
some corporate gigs. I got clubs have been calling. I was just in New Jersey, so I did the Comedy Cellar in New York. Then I was
Did you
in
stay at your
Jersey.
brother's house again?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay.
I got to get more famous so I can get in my own place. But yeah, I'm doing that, and then I'm doing a military sorority show tomorrow for
Oh,
military
nice. Nice.
sorority. I think I'm doing this show with some more. I think she's on the
Awesome.
show. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
So
Well,
yeah,
tell her we
I'm
said
blessed.
hey.
I
Let's
surely will, Sybil.
Before we get out of here, I do want to talk about entertainment a little bit more. The
Okay.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And a lot of
Hmm.
folks are going in, and there are questions as to who is going to be presenting people. I'm sorry, LL Cool J is going to be inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And some people are reporting that Dr. Dre is going to be the one to induct LL Cool J into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What do you
Oh
think?
man, that's great. That's
Yeah.
big, man. Because when you think about, I'm 44 years old. So hip hop is roughly, I want to say hip hop is about 40, 30.
Mhm.
Like hip
Oh,
hop
I
is
would say
40,
yeah, for sure.
41 years old.
Mhm.
And for it to be such a tiny genre, like this subgenre, from it to go from that in 40 years to being the number one worldwide listen to music, you know, they more than deserve. LL Cool J more than deserves an induction to the Hall of Fame, and it's perfect that Dr. Dre is giving him that award
I think it's
because they
very
were so
cool.
crucial to hip hop, and
Right.
LL Cool J was such a big superstar. Like that was like the first rapper I saw, like when I was little. Like the I'm bad.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can
Yeah.
rap quite like I can. I take a muscle bound man, put a face in the sand. I'm the last one. I used to love that, man. I used to do the whole little dance and everything, man. LL, man. Very deserving. I'm happy for him.
I am too. I think that's going to be fun. Like, Dre does it, or who's going to induct Jay-Z? Think about that.
I
Who would you
know.
like to
Probably
see?
Beyonce, his wife.
That's what I thought too. But I who
Oh,
knows?
no, Dame Dash.
Oh, come on now.
Let Damon induct him.
Wha-
I think that'll be interesting. I mean, I
that
know they fell out, but it'll still be
interesting is a
cool.
good word.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Dame could
Mhm.
come out with the bottles and doing the Dame Dash, induct Jay-Z. I think it'd be
Okay.
interesting.
Okay, it is
Mhm.
gonna be fun. So that there are a lot of rock and rollers, but there are a lot of folks who are representing on a number of other genres of music, and the last of which is Tina Turner is going to be inducted. I don't think she's going to be there, but definitely, I'm hoping that we will see her in some form or another, whether they will interview her and play a tape or something like that,
Yeah, that
because
would be
she has
nice.
had another number of health challenges over the last couple of years. But I look forward to seeing her.
That would be
But
great. I
one more
love
time, can you give
Snapchat.
us a little LL Cool J before we leave out of here?
Nobody can rap quite like I can. I take a muscle bound man, put his face in the sand. I'm the last man, yo, so I'm an MC guy. I make you yo, and do the rock. If you think you cannot rap me, your boy, I'm bad, cause I ain't never met a mother that could do the transator. I'm better. My rhymes are good. I got a gourmet plate to say I wish you would. That's all I know.
Come
I
on,
hate when I have to stop because
I
I don't know the
I
whole song, but
I
that's it.
think that you should be the one to induct him.
I'm telling you, I love LL
Introduce
Cool J.
him.
You know what I'm
That
saying? I
would be
love LL,
awesome.
man.
That
Yes,
would be
yes,
awesome.
yes.
And we love you, Lavar. We're just going to close out with Yogi's Jewel today. Daily inspiration. The evil one is the author of confusion. Do not allow him to win and stay
Wait, my wife
focused.
is trying to
You.
make me laugh behind the computer. Could you stop, honey? Okay, that's enough. She's doing the LL Cool J dance.
I love it. Oh, next time you come on, you bring her and you all do it together. How about that?
That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna
Okay.
do.
Thank you, Lavar. Appreciate you,
Hey,
sweetie.
thank
Thanks
you.
for
All right,
filling
Sybil.
in and good
Thank
luck.
you.
And we will see you out on the road.
All right, no problem. Take care. Bye bye.
The great Lavar Walker. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us, and thank you to the folks for Black and Missing Foundation, Natalie Wilson, and I'm looking forward to us being a part of their organization for a long time to come. Look out for every Thursday. They will be submitting the information about people who are out there who are missing amongst us in our communities. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon. Aloha.